Alright guys, so what I'm going to go over today is the quiz that you took last week, or the week before. I am going to go ahead and use the honors version, which has a couple of extra things in it. What you have to do in order to up your grade to a 70 is you are required to follow along either on a separate sheet of paper or on a Google Doc or a Kami Doc. You must go ahead and submit something in order to get credit. So first of all, question number 1 said, give another name for line R. Make sure you use the correct notation. Other options, we have line AB. We could also have line BC or line AC, CB, or CA. Remember, it does need to have the 2 arrows over the top in order to be correct. And then when you are answering the questions, make sure you explain what you got wrong and what you would do differently next time. So number 2, we're going to name the intersection of lines R and S. Line R, line S, they cross at point B. 3 collinear points. The only answer choice that we have available to us that would work is A, B, and C. And then give another name for plane N. Plane N is the entire quadrilateral, so any 3 letters that are on the plane of the capital letters, so ABD, CBD, DAC, usually you would want them to not be collinear, so it would be best if D was included here, but it doesn't matter which order you put the letters in. On number 5, it says name a point that is coplanar to point K, and that's going to be anything on the shape, so we would have M or N would have been accepted. The intersection of plane R and line JL is point K. 3 non-collinear points. My recommendation would have been to include M because it's not collinear to any of the others. But you can have NKM, JMN, KML, any 3 that are not on the same line. Okay? All right, number 9. If DE is equal to 4x minus 1 and EF is equal to 9 and DF is 9x minus 22, find each value. So I'm going to go ahead and do as I usually do, which is to list my givens. So we are told that DE is equal to 4x minus 1. We are given EF as 9. And we're given DF is going to be 9x minus 22. Make sure if you want to get credit for doing quiz corrections that you copy everything that I write. Do not just leave stuff out. DE plus EF is going to be equal to DF. Sub in what we already know. So we have 4x minus 1 plus 9, and again I'm using parentheses in order to include show that it's a substitution, and that's going to be equal to 9x minus 22. You're going to combine like terms, so we have 4x is going to stay the same. Negative 1 and positive 9 combine to give us positive 8. And what I'm doing here is solving for x. Okay. So we are going to move our 4x to the other side by using inverse operations. So I'm going to subtract 4x from both sides. And that is going to give me 8 is equal to 5x minus 22. I need to add 22 to both sides. And that gives me 30 is equal to 5x. I'm going to divide both sides by 5, and on GoFormative, I can fairly easily just draw a line right here. I know it's there, so we're going to divide by 5. And that's going to give me 6 is equal to x. And x, 6 right here. Now, in order to determine what DE is, I need to substitute in the x. So we have 4x, so 4 times 6 minus 1. So 6 times 4 is 24, minus 1 is 23. And then if we just add 23 and 9, because DF is equal to DE plus EF, we know that DE is 23 and EF is 9. So DF is going to be 32. Right, number 10, it's the same picture. So a lot of the stuff is going to be the same. So our givens, we are given that DF is equal to 78. DE is equal to 5x minus 9. And EF is equal to 2x plus 10. So I have DE plus EF is equal to DF. And then what we're going to do is substitute in what we know. So 5x minus 9 plus 2x plus 10 will be equal to 78. Combine like terms on the left-hand side. Again, remember when it's on the same side of the equal sign, we do not use inverse operations. So we have 5x plus 2x, that's 7x. We have negative 9 plus 10 is going to be positive 1. And then I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides so that I can have my x on its own. And I've got 7x is equal to 77. And I'm going to divide both sides by 7 to give me x is equal to 11. Remember, you can always pause the video or slow it down. Again, I need to go ahead and substitute in the DE. So we have DE is equal to 5 times 11 minus 9. 5 times 11 is 55 minus 9 is going to be 46. So again, what we can do here is we can either plug 11 in. I actually think it would be easier to plug in 11 for 2x minus plus 10. So EF is going to be 2 times 11 plus 10. And that means it's going to be 22 plus 10, which is equal to 32. And if we add 32 and 46, we get 78. So our answer makes sense. It is important that you always make sure that your answer makes sense before you submit it. So that's the quiz corrections for quiz number 1. Remember, you need to make sure you write down on another sheet of paper and then take a picture and attach it in Google Classroom. Or you can do it on a Google Doc or a Kami document. You choose. But you need to go ahead and show all your work.